Okay, niñitos. Estos son los tensos perfectos, perfect tenses, right? So we do have these in English, so your knowledge of them in English should transfer over and help you with your Spanish, okay? These tenses require two parts, a form of the verb haber, and obviously you'll be getting the forms later, plus what we call a past participle, and I'm going to show you how to form that too. Okay, this basically just repeats what I had. It's a two-part construction. Now what it means, right, present perfect means what someone has done or what a group of people have done, right? And then a lot of times that past participle translates to ed. So I have loved, or we have gambled, or they have visited. Okay, there's a lot of irregulars though, like he has said, right? Doesn't necessarily end in ed, that participle, but we'll get to that. Okay, first part of the construction is a form of the verb haber, right? We've had this verb before, but we've used it in its true sense. Now we're using it as an auxiliary or helping verb. So you cannot use haber in the way you use tener to mean to have. They are not the same that way, okay? This is to have in the sense of a helping verb. And in the present tense, here are your forms. Yo he, tú has, él y usted ha, nosotros hemos, ustedes, ellos, ellas, han. E, as, a, hemos, an. Remember that H makes zero sound when you pronounce it. Okay, the second part of the construction is the past participle, and here's how you form it. For AR verbs, you cut off the AR, and you add ado, A-D-O. So bailar is going to become bailado. Amar, amado. Colaborar, colaborado. It's pretty easy. For ER and IR verbs, you cut off the ER, the IR, then you add back ido. So comer, comido. Ir, right? It seems like it should be irregular, but it's not. You cut off the IR and you add back ido, right? Ser, sido. ER and IR verbs, there's something a little bit special. If after you cut off the ER, the IR, right, what you have left, the part you have left, if that ends in an A, an E, or an O, these are, remember, what we call strong vowels. So then you will have to add ido, but with an accent over the I. Here's an example. Leer, I cut off my ER. What's left, right, LE, ends in an E. E is a strong vowel, so when I add ido, I make sure it has an accent over that. Same thing happens with caído, right? Because A is a strong vowel. There are some irregular past participles, okay? I organize them in my brain with the phrase, I had krempfvv. I like to think of it as some sort of exotic dessert. I had krempfvv, and it was delicious. Or maybe it was some sort of an unfortunate disease that you caught. I had krempfvv, and it wasn't fun. You think of it how you want. Here are the irregular past participles. I stands for imprimir, which means to print, and it's impreso. H for hacer, right, to make or to do, and it's hecho. A for abrir, to open, and it's abierto. Continuing with the irregulars, D for decir, to say or to tell, dicho. C for cubrir, to cover, cubierto. R for romper, to break, roto. E for escribir, to write, escrito. M for morir, to die, muerto. P for poner, to put or to place, puesto. F for freír, to fry, and that's frito. Ver for to see, V for ver, sorry, and that's to see, and that's visto. And the other V for volver, which is to return or come back, and that's vuelto. Now, please be aware, use your impressive brains that I've seen you use this year. Words that are related, right, to these irregulars I just gave you, but they're not the exact irregular, they're still going to have that same irregularity. So because volver is vuelto, devolver is going to be devuelto, right? Or cubrir is cubierto, but what if it's descubrir? It's going to be descubierto. So do use your brain on those kinds of things, guys. Okay, what do we do with pronouns? We've talked about some pronouns, reflexive pronouns. There are direct and indirect objects. We haven't reviewed them yet, but we will. If you have any type of pronoun, right, and I've listed them for you, a me, a te, a se, a nos, a los, a la, a lo, blah, blah, blah. These will always go in front of that form of haber. So I've taken relajarse and I've showed you how to put in the pronoun. Ella se ha relajado. She has relaxed. That se has got to go in front of haber. You cannot put it in the middle. You cannot put it at the end. Stem changers, here's your thing about stem changers, they do not exist in perfect tenses when we're making that past participle. So that's one less thing you have to worry about. If you see pensar and it's got a stem change, I don't care. It's hemos and then pensado. No change. Now, there are 4 perfect tenses. I just showed you how to form present perfect, right? This is how you form what we call pluscuamperfecto or pluperfect or past perfect. It is formed almost identically, but with a few differences. The meaning is different, though. The meaning is what someone had done. So instead of, right, I have visited, it's I had visited. That's the difference. So you're still going to need 2 parts, a form of haber, but here are your forms of haber. They're different. They're obviously in a past tense. They're in the imperfect. So había, habías, había, habíamos, habían, and then you still add the past participle, right? That is not changed. If it's comer, it's comido. If it's bailar, it's bailado, okay? We use past perfect to describe an event that's further in the past than present perfect. So, yo ya había almorzado cuando Juan me preguntó comer con él. I had already eaten when Juan asked me to eat lunch with him. Okay. Future perfect is going to be what someone will have done. And again, the 2 parts are still necessary. A form of haber. It's just that haber in this case will be in the future tense. You already know, okay, that haber is irregular, aber, and then you know your future tense endings. E con acento, as con acento, a, hemos, an con acento. Right? I think I missed an acento there, but you know what I'm talking about. All you're doing is combining those 2 pieces of knowledge. So those are your forms of haber. And then the second part is still the past participle. Again, hado or ido. So I gave you an example. I will have graduated soon. Me habré graduado. There's my form of haber in the yo form. My pronoun goes in front. Graduar became graduado. And the last slide, the last perfect tense, we have conditional perfect. This is what someone would have done. And again, guys, it's logical. Conditional is what someone would do. Conditional perfect, right, would have done. You're just combining 2 pieces of information that you already know. Your forms of haber are obviously in the conditional. Habría, habrías, habría, habríamos, habrían. And then the second part, as always, in a perfect tense, will be that past participle that ends in ado or ido. Right? So, me habría graduado, pero fallé una clase. I would have graduated. Oh, but I failed a class. So I didn't. Wah, wah. And those are our 4 perfect tenses. Present perfect, what someone has done. Okay? Pluscuamperfecto, what someone had done. Future perfect, what someone will have done. And conditional perfect, what someone would have done. Gracias. Adiós.